In 2002, this rendered in 2 minutes. Today, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. So this doesn't work as it used to. So let's take the original scene that was provided, and let's do a test render. Cut this down to 25%. You'll see that it looks slightly different. That's because the preset is not 100% the same. So you might think that that's why it renders much slower, but not quite really. So that was 30 seconds to render that small preview. And this one was rendered in 2002, and it took 10 minutes on a slow machine. So this is not working how it should. Let's turn this one off, these guys off, render over again, and now it looks more like that. Last render time was 30 seconds. This one is what, 20? It's basically about the same time. Just saved 5 seconds by turning off ray tracing on that one. But this looks more interesting though. But let's go with this one because this was this is the original one, and I'm going to compare the render time to this one, or try at least. So I had to change this for PLD1 to get somewhat good render times. It doesn't matter if I use multi-threading or not, it renders in the same time. Even though I set it to 1 or 16, doesn't matter. I can turn this off, but that's cheating, of course. Let's see what it renders in. It's probably going to render in about the same time, actually. Yeah. So the problem is not that much of the anti-aliasing, or at least when we fix this to PLD1 pass. Actually now it's slower. How's that possible? What did I change? Huh, that's strange. It actually renders faster with adaptive sampling, 10 seconds faster. Wow, that is strange. Okay, let's go into SOAP and hypervoxels, and it's of course this one, that is this one, and I'm not going to really change anything here. It doesn't really matter. And for this, well, I can change the color a bit. And make it look more organic. So I guess that was a bit overkill, really. So let's just move it into that greenish area again. Like that. Okay, just gonna leave these as is. It's not really gonna change much if I change this. Sometimes I notice that disabling this can decrease render time a lot though. So let's just copy this one and remove. Oh, that could be just be like that. Yeah, it did cut down render time some. It did save 5 seconds on it. I don't think we need self shadows. I don't think that really affects it. Didn't really help though. Didn't make any change. So might as well keep it on. Let's see what this one does. Well, nothing really. Probably because I don't have refraction. Yeah, I don't have that on, so it doesn't do anything, of course. Color filter. Let's just pump this up to 200 render, and you can see it exaggerates that main or that highlight. And leave that as is. Go in here. Now, we're not really going to be able to change too much. Can take this one. I think these render pretty much the same. I'm just going to try this one, which renders quite differently. And you'll see that you get a quite funky result when doing that. Now, actually, if you turn on trace shadows, this can actually be kind of interesting for lava for a volcano or something like that. Not this, but there are yeah, if you tweak it. So let's see, what was the render time? 19. That was pretty good actually. Well, compared. All right, so we got different groups here, and I think I'm just going to turn off the specularity just to show what it does. So, well, it's not much to show really. Now you can see it looks a bit more lava-like. turn that off. Not sure if that was a good idea. Let's see what this one did. Oh, doesn't look like it did all that much, really. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So imagine trying to do this with regular hypervoxels. Not possible. Group 3 and let's see, no. Group 4, no. Group 1, radiosity. We don't have any radiosity. Not really sure if that works. Well, I don't have this one on. Ah, come on. This one. Turning on radiosity here doesn't really affect it because Hikari has its own radiosity. So, but turn this one on, trace shadows, see if it does anything. Not really quite sure. Did it do anything? Nah, not really. Okay, but here's the real deal. This is what's gonna affect the render the most. Well, let's turn this one off, and you'll see that that removes the subsurface scattering function at once. So you would think that you would adjust these settings, but no, you're actually adjusting these settings, caustic settings. So that's how that works. So I'll leave this one on. This one, I don't think this one did too much. Yeah, well, not really. I'll just keep that to 0. Seems to be doing nothing. So last time I tried, same stuff doesn't really seem to do anything. So might as well just turn that off. Okay, so the last settings here. I can try this one instead. So this is how it goes about it. If you use this method, adaptive random, then you have to crank up this one. The caustics quality, really. So I think we're just going to drop it because it just, well, it doesn't look good. So we're going to use adaptive spider net for this one. So I got that. Let's turn this down to 3. And you can see it renders much faster. That was what? 4 seconds. And let's take that down to 2. Then it just looks funky. I guess it could be good for glowing, I don't know, magma or something like that. 1, I don't think that, well, that just creates this, which basically looks like adjusting this one to, I don't know, 80 or so. So you want to render this either on quality setting 3 or quality setting 4. This looks horrible, doesn't it? Okay. Let's turn off trace shadows here. The last render was 18 seconds. That was actually quite good. I think I need to go back actually and change some settings here. Yeah, let's go back to this one. And so we have that set to 4. Let's try that with 3. Okay, so actually maybe I have to, well, the render time is better now than it used to be, so okay, let's see what we got here, what render time we get. Well, actually it's not that bad. This one was 2 minutes in 2002. This one seems to render in 1 minute. Okay, so I guess it's not that bad after all. Caustics quality 3, so I've changed this one, and I guess it's okay, but you can see that it's not quite the quality that I think it could be better, so let's crank that up to 4. That's probably gonna double the render time. So maybe this is not rendering as fast as it could because of the multi-threading. Computers have basically gotten more cores, and multi-threading has been added to, so it might be that might be the reason actually why it's not actually rendering faster in 2012 compared to 2002. I still think it's kind of funny though. It should have rendered faster. Well, you can just see that this is taking forever. I'm not really sure on how to decrease this render time. Okay, now we're up to 2 minutes already. So this is going to take well, about 4 minutes, a bit less. It does look to have a better angle here, so here as well. So it does look to render better. But if you're using motion blur, then you know, you don't need that kind of quality at all. You can just crunch this down really. I would probably render this in, if you're rendering for HD resolution 720p or something like that, I would just render maybe half the resolution, because this is probably going to move fast, and it's going to be gone. The noise is going to be gone in the motion blur. So going for this kind of quality is good, but most of the time you're not going to need it. And also, how often are you going to render stuff like this? Not that often, I guess. Okay, so this is actually 5 minutes now. That's a huge change from 55 seconds to 5 minutes. Okay, so let's have a look at that change. And you can see there is a big change. It does look much better. So yeah, this one wins. It's winning. Okay. I think that's about it. The only thing, let's just try to put this one down to 3 again. Because we had, let's try to put this one down to 50. Now let's see, it should render quite fast. So well, actually that was much faster than I thought. Okay, cool. 15 seconds or so, which is good. Now this is what I'm curious about, because when I turn this one on, it actually rendered faster, which I thought was quite strange. That doesn't quite make sense to me. So that's very strange. So what happens if I change this? Instead of 1, say 4. So that's 12 seconds. What was that? 12 seconds as well. I have no idea. Well, now it looks just funky. So 13 seconds seems to be like a magic number though. So it was 0.1 and 13 seconds. Again, when you motion blur this, it's going to look good. Just want to try one more thing. I want to try 0.2 or so. Just see what happens. Same stuff. So it doesn't really matter. Just keep it at 0.1. So yeah. I want to try this one again. See what change there is when adding it. Well, it's not that much, but I guess well, I don't know. I did make some changes here, so it doesn't look quite the same as this, but well, I think I'm done looking at this plugin or this feature. So, yeah,